Welcome back. This is just a quick video that goes over the fuel pumps, a standard pump, an upgraded pump, how they work, the siphon pump feature that's built into the factory Megane pump, how it works, and why it's quite important in the whole operation of the pump. This is basically the key to the siphon pump function in the factory fuel pump. It's located in the bottom of the pump. All the fuel that bypasses the reg inside the factory pump gets diverted down through this fitting, goes across here. There's a Venturi effect created. The fuel squirts out here, but what it also does, this lives above a rubber flapper valve in the bottom of the tank, and it sucks fuel up so that the bucket in the tank, in the pump, actually stays full the whole time. This is like our first test rig that we're going to run through. This is the flapper valve we're seeing here, and you can actually see the outline of that siphon fitting that we were talking about before. We've got these things just looped, so we've got maximum flow going back through the reg. The reg is still holding the system at the 5.5 bar. The return fuel goes in here, goes past the reg, goes down, pushes past the siphon point, and that's where it sits. Now the testing we're doing today, we've got 1 litre in this pan here, and the fluid we're using is flow bench fluid. Don't try and do this test with petrol or E85, it's way too flammable. Flow bench fluid is what they use to test the flow rate of injectors. It's a much more stable fluid, so that's why we're using it. So we're just going to put the standard pump in. This is a brand new standard pump from Bosch. We're just going to hook this up to a battery. What we want you to see is how quickly it fills that pot. You'll see the fuel's coming up through that pot at the moment, in that bucket, and now it's overflowing. And this is how it works. Even though the level can be really low on the tank, the bucket's always full, so the pump's submerged. It's always got fuel capacity there to be able to deliver to the engine, even when the level in the tank is low. If you go around the corner and it sloshes a bit, the actual supply rate that the siphon pump can deliver back into the bucket is in excess of what the engine can use, so it's always going to refill. So generally when we take these things out, if you just push on the flapper valve at the bottom and lift it up, you can drain the bucket back out, which is what we're doing now. This is a brand new replacement pump from Bosch. We keep these in stock. We buy them in, we just think it's the best way most of the time. The housings aren't brittle or fracturing, and the flapper valve's in the best of condition. Okay, we've still got the 1 litre in our pan. This is one of our upgraded pumps. It's got a Bosch 540 pump in it. Because of the size of the Bosch 540, we've actually removed the regulator to the outside of the pump. It's in this remote housing up here. There's a one-way valve that we've fitted in there, and we've actually fitted an aftermarket siphon pump to fill it. We're just going to sit this one in here now. Now this Bosch pump is capable of delivering 380 litres an hour at the factory 5.5 bar of pressure that the Megane runs at. This siphon pump we've optimised as well with the size of the fittings. So we're just going to hook this up now, and you'll be able to see that it fills just a little bit faster than the standard one. And the pump's full again. The bucket's full. We know that we're always going to have peak supply capacity available to the pump, so we're not going to have, or we're going to minimize the possibility of any surge regardless of how low the fuel is actually in the tank. Unfortunately, we have to mount the regulator and the one-way valve externally, but these will still fit under the cover. We've got a special cover that goes over the top of the fuel pump opening, so it's all still sitting underneath the rear seat. It's all sealed off, so there's no fumes in the car, and that's the way it kind of runs, and it's nice. But we start with a new housing just because it's a new flapper valve in the bottom, which we retain, and we just get the best results with it. Going to drain that back down again. And last one, this is a housing, an old housing that we've modified. You can see how the plastic's all discolored, or the nylon's all discolored. The flapper valve's a bit worn. It's got the siphon valve in. We've sealed the siphon valve down as hard as we can. But what we found with this one when we've tested it is that it doesn't fill the bucket. Obviously that rubber flapping valve is leaking a bit. You can see it's building up pressure again, but it won't fill the bucket. This is why we always like to start with a new housing, because we get a new rubber flapper valve, which is a really overlooked component of this whole fuel system. And even though this pump will deliver the pressure, it's relying on the level in the tank for the level of fuel in the bucket. So it's okay, but it's not optimal. So if you are going to do a fuel pump upgrade, really give some consideration to starting with a new housing, because it's a new rubber flapper valve. The plastic's not as brittle. It's just a much nicer way to do things. Thanks again for watching. Catch up with you next time.